You are now about to witness the strength of street knowledge.
What's up, everybody? How y'all doing, ladies? It is your girl, your Diva and Knowledge Lady Mocha, representing Mocha's Ladies Lounge. Well, you know, at the lounge, I'm always giving you spiritual awareness. Here we do it awesome with the sermons. We're always doing content on life lessons, on spiritual awareness and things of that nature. So I welcome y'all here. And again, I don't always do the tea, but I do the tea in truth. So nevertheless, y'all, I want to go into this right away. I wanted to talk about the power of the succubus and how and when and if a man has had too many sexual encounters with them, he basically cannot have a real connection with his wife or any real authentic woman for that matter. So I wanted to go into this because if y'all been following me for quite some time, those of you who are followers, faithful followers, who are subscribers, big ups to the Mod Squad and everyone who has been supporting me, and to all the queens I'm blogging, big ups to all the queens. So it's very imperative that we understand the significance of the power of the succubus. And as I stated, if y'all been following me for quite some time, y'all should be aware that I've addressed this several times as to what a succubus is. And for those who are not familiar, or this is your first time tuning in, just to give you a little quick rundown, a succubus is a female demon that is sent on assignment to destroy a man's purpose. She is a distraction. She is a hindrance to his life. And the enemy recruits the succubus to specifically target men that don't have a spiritual foundation, men that are still gullible and weak and don't have any control over their lust and their desires. The succubus can very easily conquer men who conduct themselves in an inappropriate manner. For instance, a man that is not home with his wife and his children, and he'd rather be in the clubs, he'd rather be in a sports bar, he'd rather be around his homeboys. It's very easy for a succubus to target a man that does not have a solid foundation with being at home. You know, anytime a man wants to be other places more than home, he has a very high risk and probability in encountering a succubus. Men that have had too many multiple sexual partners will indefinitely encounter the succubus. And that's what I want to kind of go into particularly, right? So there was this video that I stumbled across, and I thought it was very interesting because the guy in the video, he dropped some very solid gems that I want to share with all of you, because see, this is the other side of life. This brings that other spiritual awareness that a lot of women, unfortunately, are starved with this type of knowledge. Because we rather be fed entertainment. We rather be fed gossip. We rather be fed, anything that is, going to make us feel good about ourselves, But very rarely do we want to be fed the things that don't always taste good, but however it is healthy. And it's imperative that we understand the nature of these men and why they conduct themselves in the manner that they do, and you be aware of the succubus spirit, being aware of knowing when your significant other has encountered that. Maybe you are possibly a succubus, okay, or you are in the company of other women who carry that Jezebel or succubus spirit, right? So I want to play this video right quick, and I want you ladies to really like kind of channel in and let the message marinate, because it does it provides a lot of essential information that you're not going to hear from too many places, you know. So I want y'all to be aware of this, whether if you are a wife or one day you plan on becoming one, or maybe maybe you are a married woman who has had a marriage that has been intruded by a succubus, and maybe you need some kind of clarity. Not that it's going to bring you peace, but maybe you need some type of spiritual awareness or understanding as to how these situations come about, so you can make a decision, you know, a decision whether to stay or maybe to cut your losses. But whatever the case may be, it's going to have to be a decision that you can live with, and you cannot let other people influence you. Everybody has an opinion. Everybody has their own way of what they think you should or shouldn't deal with as a woman. At the end of the day, you are your own woman, and you got to make decisions that are best for you, within your best interest. People are going to talk about you regardless. People are going to talk about you if you stay in your marriage. People are going to talk about you if you're divorced. People are going to always have an opinion. So make a decision that you know you can live with. Don't make a decisions based off of what others think. So let's get into the video, right? And then we're going to definitely go ahead and reiterate on it.
When you get married and you with one woman, and you done had, you know, flip it like Felicia, and you know,
like Felicia, I never heard that one.
it just came to my. I don't know what made me think that. But if you doing those things, and when you are married, you know, your spouse, you know, especially if you had a wild sexual history, and your wife is like, I ain't doing that.
Yeah.
You like, why not? Because to you think that's normal.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Because the girls that you weren't married to, they were willing to do whatever to keep you.
Ooh.
So you got married, and now you mad at your wife because she can't fill in the blank. When you get married and you with one woman, and you done had, you know, flip it like Felicia, and you know,
like Felicia, I never heard that one.
it just came to my. I don't know what made me think that. But if you doing those things, and when you are married, you know, your spouse, you know, especially if you had a wild sexual history, and your wife is like, I ain't doing that.
Yeah.
You like, why not? Because to you think that's normal.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Because the girls that you weren't married to, they were willing to do whatever to keep you.
Ooh.
So you got married, and now you mad at your wife because she can't fill in the blank. When you get married, and you
Okay, so I want to stop it at that, right? So this is what happens when you end up marrying a man, or end up in a relationship with a man who has had too many succubus encounters. Okay, and what tends to happen is they bring those spirits with them, and the only way they can get rid of those spirits, they have to repent, and they have to seek God's guidance for restoration. In other words, to restore their sexual nature, like reset their sexual nature. It takes a God-fearing man to get to that point to say, you know what, God, I'm still carrying these lustful desires with me, and it's tainting my marriage, it's tainting my union, because this sexual demonic residue, that scent is still on me, and because of that, I'm having a hard time learning how to just be satisfied with one woman, learning how to just be satisfied with my wife sexually, learning how to just love her body and become more consumed with pleasing her more so than just pleasing myself. It takes a very strong-willed man of God to come to those terms and realize that his sexual urges are out of spiritual alignment because he has been with too many women. And as the guy stated, when a man has had a wild sexual history, meaning he's been with multiple women, that means he has experienced multiple sexual encounters. And you have to realize, when a man encounters a succubus spirited or a Jezebel spirited woman, she is willing to go above and beyond due to the fact she knows that this is a deal that's not sealed. This is not something that belongs to her. And most succubus spirited women, they realize that they have to go the extra mile and really put in work. And this is the process of the succubus using her Jezebel spell to overpower the man. And if he is indeed easily to be captivated, just off of sexual of a female succubus overly exceeding his sexual expectations. In other words, she's willing to do any and everything in that bedroom with no limitations whatsoever. He in turn will adopt these sexual experiences. And listen, once you learn something, you can't unlearn it. It's like riding a bicycle. Even if you haven't ridden a bicycle in 10-20 years, if somebody give you a bicycle right now, you'll know how to ride. You'll get on that bike and you'll know how to ride it. Okay, it may take you a minute to figure out what a pedal is and how to balance it, but in other words, once you experience something, you don't inexperience it. It never goes away. It mentally follows you. This is why the word has always been strict and very stern about people being married and not fornicating and not committing adultery, because once you have experienced someone else's sexual escapades, it will taint and change how you perceive sex. So in other words, if you are in a relationship or married to a man who has had multiple encounters with multiple succubuses, because let's just keep it 100. The majority of women out here who give themselves freely to men that are not committed to them or are not in a relationship with them, most of the time they are Jezebel spirited women. So Jezebel spirited women, they have no limitations as to how far they will go to please the lustful man. Okay, so because of that, a lot of these men capitalize off of the Jezebel escapades. They know these women are desperate. They know women it's a lot of women, not all women, but there's a lot of women that are very lonely and know that they have to really do something way outside of the ordinary in order to convince or make that lustful man feel as if he's getting something different that he doesn't get at home or he's never gotten from anyone else. And this is what happens. So when they enter that chamber, that bedroom, and they both willingly decide to partake and having a sexual encounter, this is when spirits start to transition. Okay, spirits exchange. Not only when it comes to sex does fluid exchange, does orgasms exchange, but you have a spiritual exchange, right? Because even the Bible speaks that when two lay down together, even if a man has relations with a prostitute, he has been joined to her. Two becomes as of one now. So that means that wherever he goes, whatever relationship, whatever marriage he enters into, that spirit is still joined to him. He can sit up here and lie and tell you all day that I'm in love with you. You're the only woman I want. I don't see anybody but you. You're the only woman I love. And this doesn't negate that he does not love you and does not care and very well so could genuinely care for you. But those spirits, that succubus spirit that he has encountered with multiple women, he's going to bring that spirit into the bedroom. In other words, he's going to look for you to do things that you may find that is pure disgusting, that is very foul, degrading. And the reason why he so freely can ask you to do these things, that is because he has encountered these type of sexual favors multiple occasions. So he has normalized that succubus sexual escapades. So to really be graphic and to really get down to the stick of potatoes, and again, this is my disclaimer, this conversation is parental discretion advised. You know, make sure you're not playing this on your Bluetooth in the car while you're picking your kids up from childcare or something like that. But I have to be graphic in order for some of these ladies out here who are really oblivious to the reality of how the succubus sexcapades can really taint a man's sexual desires. So you're married to a man, or you're in a relationship with a man, and y'all are having this intimate moment together, you know, in which, you know, y'all are having sexual relations, something that should be pleasurable, something that should be something that should be inviting, something that should basically be enjoyable. And in the midst of the intimacy, you know, as y'all caressing one another and you're kissing one another, and you know, you're in this moment of a bliss, you know, he grabs your body in a certain way that you feel is inappropriate. He's grabbing you a little too roughly. You know, he's smacking it a little too roughly. You know, he's rubbing and grabbing in places that are a little too rough to your liking. Now, whether if this is your first encounter sexually, or being that you are in a committed relationship, or you're married to this particular individual, you are used to your intimacy being performed a certain way, and all of a sudden he's grabbed you in ways he normally does not grab you. Now, this doesn't negate the fact sometimes we want to experiment and try new things. So I'm not going to say that every time somebody does something a little different in the bedroom, it automatically is an alarm that there's a succubus encounter. But I will say this: your body will not feel the same. Your body will not react to a man the same when he has encountered that succubus spirit. So when he's roughing you up, you know, and you're not used to being roughed up like that, your body is slowly rejecting your body doesn't respond to it in a good way. Okay, it's not a pleasurable sexual response, because it's some signals going off in your mind, like, why is he being so rough? Why is he bending me over like this? You know, why? You know, you just know something in the buttermilk ain't clean. You have the gift of what's called womanly intuition. And even more so, when you are married to a man and he has tampered with the succubus spirit, you're going to know it anyway, and you're going to feel it anyway, because now he has joined himself to an uninvited spirit into that bedroom and into that house. So you're going to know it. You can lie and tell yourself all day, but your body and your spirit is going to sense it so strongly. Or now he wants you to do all of these positions that he's never required of you. Now, this is on top of the changed behavior. You know, the coming in late, the being argumentative, nitpicking, wanting to fight about something as simple as you were supposed to cook meatloaf today, and instead you did baked chicken. He wants to make an issue out of that. He finds everything that you do, he finds something negative about it, because that is because there's an introduction of the spirit of the succubus that has now caused an intrusion into your marital home. And because he has joined to the succubus, he don't even know that he's acting different. He doesn't notice that he's acting different. He doesn't notice that this intimacy is different. He doesn't notice that his communication is different, because the succubus has entered into his lustful chambers, and she has already taken over. This is the reason why Daryl is coming home late at night. This is why Daryl is agitated about everything. This is why Daryl gets annoyed with his own children. He's short-tempered, has no patience, he's angry. Because, again, the spirit of the succubus, he has invited into your marital home. Why? Because he has had a sexual encounter with the succubus. So now he wants to do all of these crazy positions. You know, keep in mind the succubus spirited woman does not mind totally degrading herself, because at the end of the day, it's all about capturing her prey, which is the lustful spirited man. Whether if he's a lustful spirited married man or single man, he's obviously a man who will succumb to his lust, because he wouldn't even got involved in the succubus in the first place. Okay, she would not have been able to influence him. He would have recognized the succubus right away. And this usually only comes from men that are spiritually grounded, or men who have experienced getting bit by the succubus, and now they understand the detriment of what happens. So therefore, they don't want that smoke no more. They don't want to encounter those type of burdens in their life, because they've been there, done that, and they know better. And they have completely turned them lives over to God and given God all of them in order to be restored from that spirit of the succubus. They don't want no parts of it. You're not going to catch them hanging out in those places. You're not going to catch them in bars, sports bars, anywhere where they know the succubus was part of that encounter. You know, or if he does still reside in those places, he knows there's a time and a place, and he knows in which that spirit is making his way to approach him, and he will evacuate the premises. So when the succubus gets in the bedroom, you have to realize she does not have any limits. Whatever his wishes are, his wishes are her command. She is specifically there to please him. She doesn't have to provide what the wife provides. She doesn't have to provide taking care of the children. The succubus doesn't have to provide helping with the bills. The succubus doesn't have to provide helping him with his business, or helping him with his mother, his parents. The succubus has no other shoes or other roles to fulfill other than that one role of sexually pleasing him. And this is why she's so good at it. Hit that like button, y'all, because I'm giving y'all a sermon y'all not going to get from anywhere else. Make sure y'all share this sermon. Bring other people to the Mocha's Ladies Lounge. Hit that like button. To all my mod squad, if you here, please make everybody feel welcomed in an event. I cannot type and acknowledge each and every person. Please get the likes up, the likes up, the likes up, the likes up. I appreciate y'all so much. So anyway, so that's why she has no problem going all out. She has nothing else to offer. She doesn't have to cook. She doesn't have to clean. She doesn't have to do his paperwork for his business. She does not have to go pick up his parents, take his mom, grocery shopping, or his dad to the chiropractic and all of that. Everything a wife does, the succubus does not have to fulfill those roles. So it makes her job even easier. And because she has that one role she has to fill, she can fulfill that exceedingly. Think about it. If you have somebody on your job and you got them doing 8, 9 things, they're not going to get to all of those. Or if they do, put it this way, something's going to get neglected. If you give too many roles or too many duties to one person on your job, something's going to get neglected. You know? And that's the same way as a wife. Even a perfect wife is going to neglect something. And it takes years to really master balancing being a good mom, being a good wife, being a good daughter-in-law, being a good businesswoman, being a good friend, being a good sister. Women, we got thousands of roles we got to play throughout the day. Right? But even more so, when it comes to our marital home, there's a lot that's expected out of us. Not only are we just wives, we are counselors, because we have to talk to people, talk to our children. We are nurses. Somebody gets sick or somebody gets hurt, we got to pick up their medicine. We got to put, ice in the back. We have so many roles we have to maintain. The succubus does not have any other roles to maintain other than sexually pleasing. The married man, or supposed to be the faithful man, or whatever the case may be. That's why she can fulfill those deeds so easily. That is all she has to do. So if he has outrageous sexual fetishes, if he wants his salad tossed, if he wants the crack of his toes licked, if he wants her to go down in front of another woman in front of him, she's going to do all of that. And she's going to be successful at it and great at it, because guess what? She only has like an hour and 30 minutes worth of her time she has in investing in him. So you can give your best when you give less. Okay? You can give your best when you give less. If all you have to do is sexually please a man, and you don't have to take care of his kids, you don't have to cook, clean, whatever, you're going to be really successful at it. Then what married men don't understand, the reason why the side chick feels so much better or feels so great with her, because she's only dealing with you in small segments. Okay, she only deals with you when y'all meet up at the Sheraton. Okay, so you're going to get the best parts of her, because that is the only time y'all meet up. That is the only encounter y'all really have. Now when it comes to the wife, because the wife is drained, she's overworked, she's overwhelmed, and she's going to be neglectful in some areas, which means part of that neglect may be she's not going to always be as sexually as available compared to the succubus, who has nothing else, no other roles to fulfill in his life. And then this is where that she's not satisfying me. That's what happened with Martell. Arion was able to give him the best 20-30 minutes of his life, because that's all she had to give. She did not have to give anything else. Mel was the one that was wearing several hats. The businesswoman, the mom, the cook, the clean, all of that. And what did Arion have to do? What did Air Mattress have to do? Let me visually, let me break that down for y'all visually. Mel was the businesswoman, the mother, the provider, the caregiver, a wife at that time, a mother-in-law. Because when you marry them and you take on to them, you take on to their family. So Mel had several hats that I just listed and that I just called out to y'all. What did Air Mattress have? I tell you what she got on her list. A side chick. All she had to provide was sexual favors. That's it. Do you see the comparison? And because Arion was able to exceed in that area, he felt that Melody was not satisfying him. Melody wasn't pleasing him enough. But now he's finding out since Melody divorced him, that's all Arion had to offer. Now he's realizing that what Arion had to offer was nothing compared to what he already had. But at that time, because he had become accustomed to the lifestyle that him and Melody had together, so he didn't really care. And honestly, he didn't think he was going to lose that lifestyle. So he really didn't take heed to warning or anything, because in his mind, I'm always have the best of both worlds, and that is why Melody did the most wisest, smart decision she ever could have made. Because as long as she was there, he never would have really saw how Air Mattress was really failing him as a woman. But because Melody is completely out of the way, he sees very clearly that Air Mattress absolutely has nothing to offer. And a lot of men find out this harsh reality the hard way, because you done got so used to your blessings. You done become so accustomed to your blessings. You done become accustomed to a beautiful house, a beautiful wife, a beautiful life, beautiful children. Because you become accustomed to that, you really didn't see the value in it. And it took you to lose all of those things for you to see the value in it. Now he sees that Air Mattress don't have nothing to offer other than what she been offering. And you have to realize he's getting older. A lot of these men, when they get older, they realize they need more in life. Your needs change as you get older. What used to turn you on at 20, what used to make you satisfied at 20, is not going to satisfy you and turn you on at 30. What turned you on in 30s, not going to turn you on in your 40s. What made you happy in your 40s is not going to work in your 50s. As you get older, your wants and your needs, they change. And he's going to look back, and he's already looking back. Martell is not getting any younger. Now that he's getting older, he realizing what I really need, Air Mattress can't give it to me. I need a woman with structure. I need a woman that's business minded. I need a woman that always comes up with creative businesses and ideas in which we can benefit off of, and one day retire and as old folks and just sit on our back porch and just drink our coffee and just look at the sunset rise. He knows all of that is gone now. And now he has to somehow find a way to rebuild his life. How far will he go to rebuild it? I'm seeing scams. I'm seeing manipulation. I'm seeing him pulling a lot of fraudulent means to manage, because Martell is not right. I see Martell is going to eventually land himself in jail, because he's not going to make money and honest living the right way. He's too corrupt. He's too chaotic. He's too greedy. And he's lazy. Let's just face it. He's lazy. He don't even pretend to look like, at least Marceau and Maurice pretend like they look like they want to have a job or have something in life. Martell doesn't give that at all. I just believe he's going to get desperate and he's going to get involved in some type of Ponzi scheme. I think he's going to do something low and he's going to get himself in trouble. I think eventually everybody is going to get the wish that they want for Martell to get locked up. Trust, it's coming. It's definitely coming. And when it does, I want to hear y'all say, Mocha, you called it out. You said it here first. He's going to get in something. It's coming. Because he's trying to survive and thrive, and he's not doing it the correct way. He's doing it in a demonic, manipulative type of way. And Ariane going to end up by herself regardless. She can hold on all she wants. She's going to be the only one having to work and put money on his books. That's what's going to happen. She'll still be faithful to him when he get locked up. She'll put money on the books so he can get his commissary and make his pay telephone calls and stuff like that. And may even marry. That way they can get conjugal visits. But if he get locked up in federal, he's not going to be able to get conjugal visits. Okay, but if it's state, that's another story. But I don't think Martell will survive state. I think he'll become somebody's sweet cake boy in there. That's what I think. But that's another story, right? Yeah, so I'm digressing. But as I indicated, when a man has had multiple sexual partners, it would be very difficult and challenging for his wife to please him sexually. When you're used to getting sexual encounters that are out of the norm, you used to getting your salad tossed, your toes sucked on. You used to meeting women, having sexual encounters with women that will have sex with other women in front of you. Just all kind of like weird stuff. You know, if you have your man asking you to perform outrageous sexual positions, he is not asking that for nothing. He has encountered it. He has performed it. And he enjoyed it. That's why he's asking for it. Once you have had that outrageous sex, that out of the ordinary sex is just not going to do. It's not going to fulfill you enough. This is where that you're not satisfying me. You're not doing enough. Or if a man says, I need more head from you. I need more this and that, because he's had it so much that ordinary sex that you may deem as pleasurable for you and fulfilling for you, it's not so much that for him. If this man has been with multiple succubuses, trust and believe he has been getting head the majority of his life, and he gets married to you and you're not into that type of sexual activity, you're going to come off as boring. You're going to come off as you don't do enough. You're going to come off as you're not satisfying. You cannot satisfy a man who has had too many sexual encounters with the succubus. Now, let's state this. It doesn't have to be multiple women, right? It could be just one woman who has always made herself like a Little Caesar's pizza, hot, ready, and easily available and cheap. If one woman has done numerous sexual, if one succubus has done numerous sexual favors for him, and he's used to that, and here it is, now he's home and you're laying in bed and he's asking for all this outrageous stuff, it's because he's been introduced to the succubus. If she's been tossing his salad, he's going to look for you to do it. If she's been inviting other women in the room, he's going to look for you to do it. He's going to be asking you about threesomes and let's participate in swingers. All of this outrageous because he has allowed the succubus to intrude. And like the man said earlier in the video. Now, he's had all these wild sexual escapades. You know, his wife seems boring. She's not into that. You frustrated with your marital sex life because you don't have too many succubus encounters. And they will sit up there and tell you, oh, that has nothing to do with that. It has everything to do with it. Like the guy said, when you had Flip Over Felicia, Beat It From the Back Betty, let me add some more of my own. Beat It From the Back Betty, Dick You Down Deborah. Let me see what other ones I come up with, y'all. And if y'all can think of some, you can throw it in the chat room. I said Dick You Down Deborah, Toss Your Salad Tina, Suck Your Toes Sandra. You done got used to all of these women doing all these sexual pleasures. And trust and believe, you have a lot of succubuses out there. They will do the unthinkable. things that your mind would not even be able to phantom. I got some more deep stuff I can say that women will do and have done in the bedroom. What you think is disgusting, the succubus loves it. Things that you find degrading that a man will ask you to do in the bedroom, the succubus, she lives for it. You may be a wife or a woman at home, and your man wants to get freaky or kinky. Hey man, let's go do it in the woods. Let's go do it in the bathroom. And you like, huh? Why are we gonna do it in like the weirdest space of the house? Why we got to do something on the washer and the dryer when we got a bedroom? Why? Because the succubus has sexually programmed his lustful nature to where a regular bed is not enough anymore. Because you got to realize when he had all these sexual succubus encounters, most of the time it's been done in really strange places. This is why all of a sudden, let's do something in the woods. Oh, let's do something in the McDonald's bathroom. Oh, let's make it adventurous. Oh, let's do something in the back seat. Because he's done all of that. That is the reason why he's bringing up all of these sexual ideas, because again, there's been an intrusion of the succubus. That is why all of a sudden he's coming up with all of these weird things. All of a sudden you're not satisfying him. You're not pleasing him. Again, like I said, you got women out there that will do the unthinkable. And they love it. They absolutely love it because they're living off of that succubus adrenaline. So they don't mind giving a man head for 2 hours while your neck may hurt within 30 minutes. They are living off of that succubus adrenaline rush. And like I said, and because they're not investing anything else, they can easily overly compensate and overly exceed sexually because that's all they have to provide. It's not because they are better women. And this is what the lustful man does not understand. The succubus is not a better woman. It's not that the succubus is pleasing you better. It's not that the succubus is making you feel more important. The succubus is able to overly exceed your expectations simply because she has nothing else going for her. That's it. Has nothing else to do with that. And no different than a woman who's probably out here cheating on her husband, and she has her side dude, beating it down and putting it down and beating it down, and in her mind he's the best thing ever, and she's feeling as if her husband at home is a lame, he's dry. But you got to realize your husband has 1,000 hats to fulfill. He's a provider, he's a father, he's a husband. He can't all in that area. He may start struggling a little bit because you have to realize as men get older, sometimes their sex drive does slow down. Sometimes they have medical issues. And I know medicine is a big issue. This is why a lot of guys do not like to take medicine, because it does mess up with how they perform. Especially with high blood pressure pills. That's why you got a lot of men that are dying early, because they rather preserve their sexual stamina than their own health. Because they know this is something their wife wants or expects, and she doesn't have any empathy or sympathy. So he's not taking his medication just so he can stay up. But meanwhile, he's putting his health on the line. So it's the opposite way too. You have women that got a side dude. Yeah, he can keep up with the stamina. He's not paying your bills. He's not providing. All he has to do is tune you up. You got your little maintenance man that just tune you up. Give you a little oil change. Clean out your vents for you. And after that little quick, maintenance, you go back home. Anybody can give you the best of them when they give you the less of them. I'll repeat that again. Anybody give you the best of them when they give you the less of them. Don't find out the hard way like Martell. It's that 80-20 rule. You let that 20% overrule that 80% that you already was getting. That's what the succubus do. Her job is to kill, steal, and destroy. And that is what she does. Kill a man's purpose. Steal his dreams. And destroys his family. Righteously so, because he's not a victim. He's a volunteer. But this is what happens, ladies, when a man has way too many sexual encounters. You know, he's hard to satisfy. He's hard to please. You know, it makes you feel inferior because you're feeling like what you're doing is not enough. You're feeling like you're not giving enough. But when you're dealing with somebody that's overly sexually, demonically stimulated, it is very, very challenging. It's not easy being able to please or appease to someone who has had too many encounters with a succubus. You know, and again, like I said, you got some men who have gone through it. They cannot please a woman because she's been with too many men. You know, she has no, she has nothing left in her for a man to be able to please her. And that's the same case with these men. There's nothing else left to please them with. They have been overly sexualized by the succubus. So anyway, leave y'all comment below. Let me know what you think about this subject, this topic. I will be reading y'all comments. Do you think that men who have had too many encounters with women will expect their wives or expect the woman who they plan on having the future with? Do you feel like he's going to expect her to still fulfill those desires? Or do you think that once a man has encountered a succubus, it doesn't follow him, it doesn't affect him in some form or another? And like I said, God can restore anybody. A man who has had multiple encounters, he can be restored, but it was going to take God that's going to have to be the one to do it. So anyway, y'all, leave y'all comment below. Let me know what y'all think. It is your girl, deeper in knowledge, Lady Mocha, representing Mocha's Ladies Lounge, where I'm always give you spiritual awareness. Y'all take care, and I'll be talking to you soon. Bye.